Hello, my name is Steven. I'm the developer for Against the Tide, and today I'm going to go through editing and uploading the first, view level on the game server. So I thought I'd go through that and have a little fun, such as it is. So first, we're going to go into the editor. I'd actually already started this. So we'll skip ahead a little bit with our Snake Way level. Want to go through and just make sure everything's set up before I set up the health of each round to get harder and harder. And these are the heavies, the dragons here, and so they have a lot of health already, and so this should make it pretty powerful. So hopefully after 5 rounds you should have your towers set up pretty well, and then you can take on some dragons. So there is no autosave right now, so I'm gonna save my change in case something happens. Knock on wood. So now we're gonna play it. Let's see how it goes. So right now there are not any differences between the tower except for they're slower, and the slower ones do more damage. There are no elemental effects yet, so the heavy towers do enough damage that it's almost just play heavy towers. Like, the only other thing is I'll play a fire tower early on just to get some of that pressure. And so the rest of this, you just match gems and hopefully, just tweak. And so everything's all set up from the last update. The game will validate levels to make sure that they're playable as far as it can tell. It's not running like AI or anything. It's just doing some simple checks. And one of the checks that it does do is that you've beaten it, and that you've beaten the most current version. And so that's why after you make a change to certain parts of the game, you have to beat it again. And there's some special stuff for how it does that, but for the most part, it's all working. So as far as I can tell, there's a couple other things that I'd like to do. Because I know the enemy's health and their speed and stuff, I can set up various little tests to run to make sure that a game's not too long or too short, or something of that nature, to make sure that at the very least you're going to go with a certain level of expectation. And although I'm not gonna, for that kind of stuff I just mentioned, I'm not gonna just stop and say, hey, you can't do it, your level's too short. You play Mario Maker, there's a lot of fun in really short levels. And so what I want to do with that is auto tag such levels so that people will know this is a short level, this is a long level, a marathon. And so one thing that is not out right now is A, that what I just said, and B, a way for players and editors, creators, to tag their own levels. So you could just say, hey, this is a marathon. And so, I think I gotta buff these a little bit. And so this is what excites me the most about the level editor, and especially getting it in the hands of players, is that far quicker and far better than me, people who love these kind of games, tower defense, can better optimize the creatures to what's a good ratio for increasing health over stats. By the way, clicking that it buffs up your damage like 10-15% for 15 seconds. And so these skills that will be customizable in the not too distant future. And so you got this one skill here that's activatable after you've done some of these orange crystals, and then this is when you match these bombs, it actually hurts all players, or I'm sorry, all monsters in the field for 1% per gem matched, and times the combo. So if you match something that creates a match, then it's however many gems for that match times the combo. So that can add up really quickly. And so, you know, even a second, like if on your second combo, you hit the bombs, that's 6% right there. And so that can add up pretty quickly if you're good at the match 3 part. It's like right there. And so that's a pretty powerful skill, and we'll have obviously other ones later. That's actually what's coming up after I get this in the way, or out the door, for let you guys do this level editor bit, is getting the skills and towers. Because the towers the same way. You'll be able to pick which towers you want, and level editors can then pick, like, enforce players to only use, you know, these towers and these skills, and going as far as saying you can only use one tower, or only use one, like this one over here is actually a passive skill. So you see the 3 you know, attack, range, and speed. This passive prevents all 3 of those from going lower than 10%. It's a buff that I've got that makes, you know, early on, people playing this just makes it a little easier. And so, you know, obviously, just like that, it's a skill set, so you can load other skills in there. Just, we don't have any of those skills yet. So that's where we're at now. So anyway, it's already 7 minutes. So that's a decent amount of playtime, because so that 7 minutes here. I'm watching the recording time here, and so 7 minutes, you know, minus my 30-second blurbing. It's not too bad, but I do think that it's been pretty easy, and so definitely need to put, like, maybe the health is fine, but maybe bump up the speed on the zombies a little bit. Or, I'm sorry, not the zombies, the werewolves. You know, usually the zombies are the first ones out. They get, like, look at this. All right, see, and maybe I should make these guys have a little less damage, because wow, that's they're gonna steamroll this. Then again, I haven't placed that many towers, so that's way too many towers for this. There's definitely, and you can see now that first one, but that first guy is soaking up so much damage. It's pretty painful. And so 300%, I think, is what it was for them. That's way too much. Yeah, that's a game ender right there. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where knowing the health of these guys and their speed and the route that they can take, I can do max damage. Like, I can generate a fake playthrough that would put max damage, like basically put an earth tower in every single one of these spots, and simulate that you wouldn't be able to kill these people, like, no matter how many towers you had, because you don't have enough towers. And so that would be valuable as part of the validation, because you want beatable levels. Like, you know, troll levels are fine, but they should troll in some way that people can still overcome, right? There's nothing better than defeating a troll. And so, just like with Mario Maker, people try and go out of their way to make levels that are as unbeatable as possible. But I want to do something with that, so that especially with these, you know, there's no checkpoints. And so, unlike Mario, you can make checkpoints in Mario Maker. But if it's a 20-minute playthrough and you find out you can't beat it in the 20th round, what's the point? It's annoying, and there are people who would like to do that, and I need to do my best to not let them do that. However, I think now that I'm getting through this, it's not doing too badly. I still think that I'm gonna lose some health here, but yeah, maybe with the damage boost. Okay, let's go get a fast one out. So I don't know. Actually, this one's pretty close. This is pretty close. And that's the speed's definitely going to be an issue because you're doing two things at the same time. I don't want it to be too fast, like tower defense, like the traditional genre, because usually you can just sit there and watch, right? Like you can just watch the field and go, oh, okay, they're going to come. And so you can, developers will have made that experience more exciting by making them faster, beefier. You get hundreds of enemies coming in a few seconds, but here, you don't want to get bum rushed. And so I certainly think these guys could be faster. I don't think they need to be a lot faster because there needs to be time for you to develop your strategy on the gym side, the match 3 side, without doing any overkill. And I was totally wrong. I have steamrolled these guys, but they look like they're still going to do some damage here at the end. Maybe. Maybe get some. Let's see. Come on. Oh no! I think I got it. I think I got it. This is going to be a little clutch, but that's the interesting gameplay, right? And so now is where the rubber hits the road. Actually, I'm going to do a little more firepower in the front. So now it's the dragons, and the dragons have a lot of health, and so then I buffed that by 500%. That one, so look at that doesn't even move the needle. So that, luckily, I made them slower. So I think, and I'm not even playing very well, I'm also talking to an invisible audience. So if I can pull that off, oh, there's no way. Look at that. That's painful. So maybe 500% is a little much. Now, one problem right now. It's not really a problem, but it is kind of annoying since you do have to beat the level. You know what? I think I might be wrong again. It's done a good amount of damage, but this guy. I mean, it's tower defense, so the tower will keep attacking the first target until the target's out of range. And you see here in the corner, classic shortcoming of a novice player is I put that in the corner. I think it has a pretty wide range. Like you see the white here, I'm pretty much covering the field. And so it's attacking that from here all the way, and so that these things behind it did not get attacked at all, and that's obviously a problem. But as you see though, it's not doing too badly. What I didn't do though, so I should probably still win, but I personally wouldn't count it because I upped their health but not their damage, so they actually should not be able to bring down my shield. It's what I call it. It's not health, it's a shield, but this green bar, and I don't think there's enough damage, and so I'm definitely gonna have to up the damage. But I will say that I have been wrong twice now, and I think this is a playable level, and after some tweaking, I think actually I'll just upload it. I thought it would take a little longer than that, but I did already, 5 minutes of editing the level itself. So no, I'm actually, I might make them do a lot more damage overall. And in fact, that's one thing right now is you have way too much health in this game, and so. And also, unlike these other bars, the health does not go down, which is something I'm gonna change. So story-wise, maybe. Oh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Oh, that was a timely bomb. Doesn't do any damage. It's not moving the needle at all. Not moving the needle at all. Oh no. Oh, he got me. So I definitely need to have a. So I'm gonna win, but oh wow, that's a lot more. I must have buffed that at some point and done remember, but that's a lot of damage. But I'm still gonna win. However, I'm definitely gonna have to see. Definitely gonna have to create a. I can't see how much I won by, but enough. There definitely needs to be like a person who won it perfectly, as in took no damage, and a person who took some damage. So you still won, but you took damage, and so there definitely needs to be that kind of state. So yeah, that was not too shabby. So in order to go forward, I think, I don't remember what the second round was like, but I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna bump this also up to. Bump up all their to their. Maybe not that much. Maybe 250, because he does. I need to get some like hovers or something for these guys to tell what their stats are. Maybe 20%, 150, 125. That's 125. So I thought, I don't know. No, I thought that was fine. Maybe a little longer, and maybe more of these guys. Like right now, the max is 20, which is not enough, but it's not enough. But I didn't want to bum rush people with. So for right now, it's a max of 10 and a max of 20 monsters. 10 rounds, 20 monsters. But so save and play. Let's see here. And I'll cut this video down to the highlights, maybe eventually. Like, no one's gonna watch this video, so I'm not terribly concerned. I'm just doing it to document goings on. I did the same thing. I should have kept the fire tower. And so actually so there's definitely going to be more towers. You know, like a poison tower that, poisons the enemies. There's going to be a lightning tower. So right now, none of the towers do anything but damage. So there's no elemental effects. But the ice tower should otherwise slow enemies. It freezes them, does low damage, and then slows them. I want another one that is lightning, so it'll and that will do a chain lightning effect. It'll hit all the enemies nearby and then bounce from enemies. And then as you upgrade the towers, which is something that's not in the game right now, as you upgrade the towers, the distance or damage, the usual stuff of upgrading things. So what they do, they just do more of it. And I'm not going to have a terribly complicated upgrade strategy, because again, your focus is cut in two. So really, what's going to be is you drag something over and you put it on top of a thing that's already there, and that's your upgrade strategy. Though, what I'm going to experiment with is, so off the cuff, that just means you put an Earth Tower on top of an Earth Tower. Now it's Earth Tower level 2. But I thought it might be interesting to experiment with, so if you put a Fire Tower and an Earth Tower, it's doing, whichever one was first, it mixes them two together. So the Earth Tower gains the fire effect and could be a very powerful fusion system. And so, because of how I have implemented towers and what they do, it's all separate from each other. So the only difference between a fire tower and an earth tower is some properties put on, their projectiles, and then the projectiles have various effects. Not interesting things, but the point is, very interesting right now, but the point is you can just drag and drop. And so that can be the same thing in the game. You just drag and drop the properties from the tower onto an existing tower. So suddenly the earth tower, it's a heavy dealing damage, now has fire. And then you got your fire. And then same thing, ice, you can have some fire ice that slows and burns. But we'll see, that may be too powerful. And I will, like I said, I'll experiment and get feedback from you guys. And so far, this is like, right now I'm going the other route with not putting out too many things. So yeah, definitely I think more of these guys, I think they should go a little faster in the second round, because they don't have much health. They're definitely the lightweight of the monsters. But so they're a little lightweight, and so they don't do a lot of damage. So really all they have is, well, you can buff their damage, but then that makes them just like any other thing. So what you really should do here is buff their speed. And so, like, for instance, I'm not going to let people edit individual creatures. I mean, I have the ability to do that, but I'm not going to do that because I want people to understand the property. Like when someone who's played the game for a little bit, and certainly people who've played tower defense a little bit, will know the basic archetypes of tower defense, right? Like, there's the middle character that you see a lot of. That's not too fast, not too slow, doesn't do too much damage. It's your red shirt, and then you got like your fast, lightweight. In this case the bat, and then you got some kind of in the middle there that do a little stuff like the werewolf. Then you got the heavier, slower one. Then you got the really heavy that has a lot of health and moves really slowly, and you gotta burn them down. So I don't want to stray too far from that, again, because you're splitting your focus between two things here, and so I don't want to complicate the matter too much. And anyway, to sum all that up, I don't want people to suddenly make like super fast, dragons. Just because, I mean, they can make fast dragons, but I don't want them to be one fast dragon and one slow dragon and one fast dragon in the same round. I want them to be able to go, oh, okay, this time bats have a lot of health. And then that's the same thing for the entire round. But overall, bats are bats. And so once they play the game for a little while, gone through the story missions, done some player levels, they have a feel for what it takes to defeat certain creatures, even when they're fast or slow or whatever. And actually, so that's technically not true right now, because you could just set the bat speed to 50% and their health to 900%, and then suddenly it's not a bat anymore. So later, I will probably change the, I don't know, it's like a slider that says, I don't know how to put it. Basically, like if you're playing like Diablo 3 or something, and main statting things, your wizard, you increased your intelligence, and that's your damage dealer. Well, this would be the kind of same thing where you bats have their play style, and so you're increasing their play style. And so it's a slider that says it's 100%, 150% attributes. And so that just means zombies get a little faster, do a little more damage. Bats get a lot faster, do still a little more damage, but proportional. Not just a value that you can set. So it doesn't matter what I set a bat to be in terms of speed or power, if the editor can just, use math and override what I've set. And so, like I said, I want the enemies to have consistency. But for now, I don't have that, and we'll see if that even happens. So maybe it's just a matter of people don't care, and they just want to be able to put window dressing on monsters, and oh, it's a fast bat, or it's a slow bat with a lot of health. So definitely, as the community grows, I can get more feedback. Right now, I'm basically talking to myself for 24 minutes. So yeah, this time things are going a little better. So I'm definitely doing, I'm guessing getting this fire early on. So yeah, let's get a little more fire there. So there's, from now, there's a lot of work to do now. But once this level's uploaded, and I can celebrate by going to bed. So obviously first, I'm going to add the loadout screen, which is really important. So it lets you select skills. And then after the loadout screen exists, before it gets in your hands, I'm going to add more skills and more towers and stuff. And then also let editors pick there. So it's a major release type thing. It shouldn't take me a terrible amount of time to do that. I went from having the level editor done to publishing this in like 2 days. So we'll see what happens in the future, of course, famous last words, but that's definitely the next big ticket on my item list. And so once that one is done, we're really cooking, because that's like the final piece is as far as playability. And oh wow, definitely got. I'm just gonna lay some stuff down. Gonna lay a bit of little ice, little fire, little smoking water. See, it's like the balancing here, especially with money. Like, it's weird. Like, there's a point early on where you're like, I can just never get any money because the coin gems aren't just falling in your. It's random. And then later on, like you said, you kill a bunch of enemies and suddenly you're steamrolling because you can place down all of the towers. And certainly right now, the towers do not really have weaknesses other than this one does, this amount of damage in this amount of time. And so, short of that, you can just really get to a point where you can steamroll the game. And so that's something I really need to address, and now that it's really like I can get to playthroughs and it's easier to modify values and stuff, and so that'll definitely come quickly. And when there's actually a person watching these videos and leaving comments and doing all those things, they should be interested in playtesting the game and and all that good stuff. So I think I'm just gonna upload this level. Just like I said, if I might edit the train a bit to take out like at least 2 of these, maybe these 2, and maybe this one. Like I need to limit what you can put out, because it's definitely getting. I don't know. I'm not even halfway on a lot of these, and so. I need something that. So, what do I need? I need something. There's not really anything dynamic in the game right now. Like, there's nothing watching. It's like, oh, they're winning too well, and I don't like so. There's definitely nothing that's controlling what. Like Bejeweled had its endless mode where. It ran an algorithm to ensure that you always were able to make a match. Every time you did make a match, it would make sure that the gems that fell could make another match. Now, there are, of course, versions of Bejeweled, like your arcade mode, where that didn't happen. You see here, I steamrolled these 5, so I'm going to put their health back where it was. Maybe even buff it a little bit over what I had it. Which means I have to play this again. It's a good thing I like this game. Alright, so first of all, I think actually I'm gonna. Well, that's a bug. It's only on this one. Well, there you go. For some reason I can't. Oh. Haha. I see. I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna go and let me take it. can't see this on the screen. Bug. Level editor. Delay after round is being set to initial delay when editing this. That is a bug in the game. Alright. I will fix that before I upload, of course. So anyway, that's not really going to be the issue here. In fact, you give me a handful of seconds, and I'm going to fix that. It's exciting. It's super exciting. Let's see. Okay. I should have set up my screen to show you. I'm going to start doing that in the future when I go through. I'll start streaming while I'm editing. Okay, so I've seen level editor, seen it's not that, it's in the editor, yeah, okay. And so let's see. On initial delay, okay, here we go. No. Yep. There it is. Delay after round. Done. Now I'm going to skip ahead on the build. And okay. So I'll build the game again. This is riveting TV. This is riveting TV. I would actually share my screen, except for I have an ultra wide monitor, and it is, basically two widescreen 16:9s together. And so it just would be a terrible video feed. So anyway, there we go. Do I fix it? I fixed it. Okay. So I'll set this down to 10. Down to 10. A little faster. So, and maybe even 5 there. Alright, so as I said, I'm going to remove these two. And for shit. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't like the look of that. Alright, let's do this. No, I don't like that look at all. It's a little too... I usually don't like to leave. This is my personal preference, the spot right next to it. Okay, so definitely... So that takes care of that. You don't have many options here. I think I'm actually going to close this one off. And so I really only have 6 options here. And I think I'll really just buff it down to that. Like that, yeah. So it really limits your options. So no changes need to be made here. Okay. I'm gonna make them a little bit stronger. Really stronger. I think these guys are fine. No, his health was. I had firepower. Well, let's push it. I'm gonna bump everyone's speed up a bit. Maybe not these guys. No, maybe not these guys. And I mean, just a little. So yeah, remember, no autosaving. Need to add that option. So this UI is awful. So I'll definitely get on that in the future. So playstyle is pretty much the same. I mean, it's not, once you've got the level down, it's not really So yeah, they're definitely. Oh boy, I might regret this speed increase. We'll see. Need some coin. Need some firepower. There we go. There we go. Should have got myself a drink. Cause this. Oh, hit that. Boom. Doing damage. Need to have some kind of sound. You know, that's another thing. Obviously, is there's definitely you can't hear anything when the towers are shooting at things. It's awful. So yeah, this definitely made the first round. I won't call it. It's not super intense, but it's definitely not as sure that I'm gonna win this time. But I think I am. So if I'm putting everybody's health and speed up, is definitely gonna. So yeah, definitely. So. The laundry list of things I want to do. Look at the graphics, obviously. After, I bought this thing off a Unity store, and it certainly works for my needs, but it's assets on the Unity store, and they should not be your final option. So I'm gonna, I want to have a system where you can paint the tiles down, and then it generates automatically, oh, you're dragging, you've got 4 sections of water here, well, that's going to make a square instead of just a large, the square that it looks like now. And, oh, you're drawing here and want the road to maybe deviate a little bit, a little procedural generation so it's not just the same things. Every time you load the level, it looks just a little bit different, just to be a little more interesting. So definitely they should make them, I think, a little faster. Because they're not getting through. I've only got 4 towers in range, 5 towers, and for the most part they're getting by unimpeded, though they are getting kind of close. What are we doing here? I didn't think I'd be talking for an hour. Let's hit him with the bomb. Dunk, dunk. Guy just got melted. Should have been a sound effect. Yeah, boom. Another thing that is just the state of the tires, like here, like that thing slowly moves. Well, I want it to move a little faster when it's got a target. And then I wanted the towers to wind down and back up in between targets. So they already do that a little bit. Their wind down period before selecting another target is half their attack speed. But that's a little much. I think all of the towers should take this roughly the same amount of time to reacquire another target. And the same thing when you, I think when you place a tower, they just go to town immediately. Like here, let's see if I don't think it waits at all. Yeah, it doesn't really wait at all. There definitely should be an installation period so that you can't just plop down towers at the last second. I mean, you can still do that, but it should definitely be that, if they're on the last tile or two, you should be screwed because you waited that long. So, I like this game, obviously, because I made it, but I think it could definitely be a little more flashy. And so there's the towers don't make any sounds, the gems are lackluster in their matching. Let's see now. Oh, just got an update from Itch that they have updated my CSS, or they granted my game the ability to use the advanced CSS editor, which means I can do all sorts of fancy things with the with the design of the page. And I got some things that I want to do with it. I want to make it look like a page out of an old medieval, book. So parchment paper with sketchy drawings and stuff. And now I can do it. So yeah, see, they didn't even get past the first part. So a little more health, maybe a little more speed. But these guys, we'll see where these guys go. So definitely, so pretty much covering. So yeah, definitely see here. There's a wall between these two towers and there's a space here, and so definitely creates windows. But you see, oh man, you see my purple here? That's the speed and my range. So that's definitely. Maybe I'll just leave it as it is. I think I'll see how the dragon round is, but you can see what happens when you get your. This is kind of the thesis of the game, is you use the gem matching to increase. Like, I've got a full bar of speed now, so I'm putting out a lot of damage and a lot of DPS here. And so that's like I said, that's basically the thesis of this game is, you use the mechanics of match 3 to empower relatively weak towers. And so I've done that, and so they're hitting pretty far and they're hitting pretty fast. And it's just down to random luck that I was able to pull this particular makeup off. Like the random gems gave me these power, because it doesn't always happen. And this is another thing that I'm talking about when it comes to, dynamic difficulty. Like, once you've done this, the game can essentially, like, they're not going to get anywhere close to where they were before. And so there definitely needs to be some behind the scenes managing of that. I don't want people to not be able to get their bars up like this, but like, who's just going to walk into a hell of gunstorm, a hell of bullets, right? So they need to have something going on. The creatures themselves needed to rally, or some system where they like enrage or something. And so it's a noticeable. It's not some subtle thing where suddenly the monsters have 25% more health. It's I mean, that's essentially what it would be, but it's in a mechanic that is consistent, that you know it's going to happen. Don't kill the enemies too fast or it'll piss them off. And though, like I said, the monsters that are still on the field would just become angry or something, and I'm not sure. I'm just talking here while I'm filling time. It's a 40-minute video, and I really hope that my voice is coming through fine, because I'm not doing this again. If this take doesn't, I am simply just going to say that I uploaded the video, which might be the best thing for us all. Because it's after midnight right now, and I've had many nights the last few weeks of me sitting there going to bed after midnight. My wife is none too happy about that, though she's pretty understanding. That's one of the reasons I married her. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it as is. I think it's fine. I think part of that's kind of you have to play it more than once to really get a feel for it, and I don't want to get too much a feel for this version of the game, balanced as it is. So, I'm steamrolling because I have look at all the white here. I have full coverage of the map almost anywhere that an enemy can be, and full speed. So I'm putting out a lot of DPS, and my damage itself is over 30%. So this is why I'm doing so well. It is not because the characters themselves or the monsters are underwhelmed. They're just not underwhelming. They're superior firepower, and so I think that's a fine. Not every level has to be a nail biter, and hell, the next time you play this one, it very well could be, because you haven't found the right gems, you picked the wrong skills, that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot that can be done here by the player and the editor to make this go either way, and it's a little unfair because I play this game hours a day and also control all the bits. So it's a little hard for me, and this is actually why I'm so excited to have other people actually putting levels together, is they are not burdened by my knowledge of the game. How it works, how it's supposed to work, how it will work. They don't got any of that. Alright, so now I can upload that. And we're gonna see if it works. So hold on. So first of all, who am I logged in at? I'm not logged in as anybody, because there's no accounts. This is gonna be, oof, this could be bad. Well, you guys get to see my email. Oh wait, I have to create it. We're seeing all kinds of. Oh, it worked without problems. Alright, so I'm gonna read my own EULA. Uploading the level will remove it from your device to be stored on the game server. It will be associated with your account, but the level data becomes the property of the game developer. That's me, to be used as they see fit, particularly if you decide to delete a popular level at a later date. Basically, you wouldn't have created an Against the Tide level without the Against the Tide game, so your rights to the content are pretty limited. Outside of a best effort attempt at preserving the fact that you created the level, the game developer has full control over the uploaded content. That's basically what all those long-winded game EULAs say you never read. To do. Hire a lawyer to write a long-winded EULA to express the above in no less than 10 printed pages. And one of the things that's not in the EULA is by clicking the upload button, you agree to these things. But I guess that's in legalese. That's expressed in the intent of uploading the level. How do you upload the level? Clicking the button. Anyway, I don't really think that anyone's going to be too surprised by this, but it is what it is. I don't want anyone to get all mad in these days. So anyway, there's the. So now we're going to click. It's going to do the validator. It's going to do the uploading. It's going to do the cleaning up. And there she be. That's my level. It's uploaded now. Let's go. Yo. Man. Like, I'm not really, okay, I'm not gonna actually, I'm gonna play this again, alright. Cause I have to, right? It's my game. And I want to get the first play on it, so I want to get the first like and the first play, and to do that, I gotta beat it. Lovely. Alright, get some fire. Oh man, I got so many coins. There, we're gonna do that. That's. So I wasn't paying attention to how I did it last time, but it doesn't matter. Say blue, boom. Let's see. So while we're sitting here, oh crap, they're past the towers. They are past. Oh boy, they are. And you can see this is exactly what I was talking about. They are now past. Well, they were, and so we're gonna have to sure I'm gonna put it here. So there we go. So that's exactly this area here. Prevents them. It gives them a little breathing room until you can place down a tower there. And that's actually what I'm going to do right now. So now that's covered. That was, of course, totally intended. That is, you know, superior game maker here, Miyamoto Jr. Yeah, it's really like you don't want to do too many early on or put them too close together, but those, like the Earth Towers are way OP. You know, Goku buff. I'm sorry, Goku nerf. Oh well, 51-minute video. That's a hell of a way to make your first talking video for a devlog. But you know what? It is what it is. The sad part is I'm gonna have to listen to this again, and that's gonna kill me. This might be my final 51 minutes, and I gotta scrub through 51 minutes to make sure that I don't say something incredibly stupid. I mean, I don't have to worry about music or anything. This is royalty-free game music that I got off the Unity store, so not worried about that. I've got 2 other videos up on the YouTube channel, so that was a 4. Oh well, it worked out. Okay. Definitely gonna have to lay down some fire here. And see, I don't use ice at all because ice is in between fire and earth, and it just doesn't do anything other than it's my favorite looking one. So see if these bats can get to the. Yeah, this is definitely a mistake to have this many bats, because all it's doing is giving me money to place down with so many towers. That's definitely a mistake. Oh, and see now my towers. See now I don't have much blue or purple, but I have lots of red damage, and so I'm definitely able to steamroll. And so this, you know, this definitely balancing needs to come in. So one thing that I need to implement before too long is storing entire playthroughs. It's like, you know, everywhere you click, like every tower that you put down and when you put it down, and the gyms that you match and the gyms that were created, so that I can just sit there and replay a playthrough and you just watch what people do, and then also, you know, run that through some analyzers, some machine learning type stuff to get a feel for you know, do the places in a good place. You know, oh, I see that a number of people have used this trick on this level to win, or they both did it and they both died, that kind of stuff. And so it's something I need to do, but I don't want to make something that's like, you know, a gigabyte of information. It definitely needs to be as small as possible, and I have a system that I've been developing that should get in, you know, under 10K, you know, 10 kilobytes of information to upload along with the thing, and I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. Each level themselves are about 3, 4, 5 kilobytes as a download, so an upload of twice that is not going to kill anybody. And we're talking kilobytes of information, and so I'm like, you know, you consider what video games are pumping in and out of your data stream, your bandwidth, your internet. I'm not going to worry too much about 10 kilobytes, but I'll do my best. If I can get that zipped up and smaller, I certainly will, but I don't think it will. Compressing small things is not easy. Alright, so these guys. Alright, I'm going to put down a fire. I should have put down a fire earlier. Oh well. I'm gonna set up in the corner. And so like I said, the ice are my favorite looking, so I'm just gonna definitely not been paying attention to the so yeah, definitely I think now that I'm not rushing through development to get the game in a functional state, I can definitely see that speed, everything is too slow, even for what I was saying earlier with, you know, keeping things simple. It's definitely the speed needs to be pushed up quite a bit, which of course I can't do that on this level because you can't edit levels once they've been uploaded. It's not like it couldn't be done. I just, you know, I don't want that to be a thing. Oh no, I played that level. Well, no, you didn't. So just though at this point you can't clone levels, so once it's made, it's made. Sorry. I will. It's definitely on the bucket list of things to do. And so anyway, see here with the ice. It's my favorite of the three towers when what it does. So, but it's just such a weak tower. There's no point. And that's a sad thing to say. Alright, so definitely these guys are definitely pushing, so I think just a little faster with these guys would be fine. Oh, let's hit the button. It's definitely boring without the sound. Alright, let's... So I think the main thing here is... So without the balancing, and even later when it is balanced, I think part of the balancing is not necessarily just making, you know, the creatures stronger, faster, you know, that kind of stuff. There needs to be other systems at play, much like the kind of the controller I was talking about before, like an enrage mechanic or something, but also I'm not sure, should the towers miss? Should they not do their damage all like, should the creatures be able to dodge? And so then you could say, oh well, there's too many towers, they dodge more, or do they should there be, like, in this version there's only a single route, but you know, you can make multiple routes. So I mean, like I said, there's a lot of options here in terms of what to do. But I don't know. The point is, you should always be on the edge of losing until you are just burning people down. It's, you know, reaching burn down status, it should take effort, and it should be rewarding, because it should have involved matching a lot of gems, creating a really cool loadout, using synergies with your skills and towers to just really hit the damage multipliers. It should not just be that you have killed enough enemies, like I've got hundreds of gold now. That should not be how you win. It should not just be capitalism ho, and then you've won. This is a game about a country that is under siege from necromancers and magicians. So they should have tools to counter your abilities, not just the onslaught of enemies. So you have magic, they have magic. I'm thinking things like, if you do too well, not the creatures themselves, because they're really just zombies, various forms of them, but the necromancer queen could attack your towers, disabling them. Maybe have what am I trying to say? Have generals So creatures on the field that have an effect as they approach towers have an effect on other creatures as they walk by, like making them stronger, faster, smarter, that kind of stuff. I won. Alright. And I'm the first person to do that. Yay! 100%. Of course, that's most played, most failed, most recent. Random, hey! No, let's go random. Ah, it's completely random. Another thing, nice little thing here. So I need to make little icons so that you know that you can actually do this. But you click here, it loads up that person. So this is snoo. It. Why did you know? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's not what's supposed to happen. So. It works here. Doesn't work there. Okay. Huh. Well, there's another bug. And I'm actually going to end it on that bug. Also a bug. Interesting. No, it's not a bug. It's just not there's just not a graphical element. That little thing there is not grayed out like this one is to tell you that it's supposed to do that. Like that. It doesn't because it's disabled. But you don't know that because the icon looks like that. And then that works, but this one don't. Okay, so one last time. Nope, that's a legit bug. Alright, well that's where we're going to leave it, everybody. So, yeah, I'm anyone who actually watched this, I'm sorry. But this was my first video for this, and overall, I'm pretty happy with where things are with the game. It's time now to get into the real meat. So the skills, the skill system and the tower system, the loadout stuff, that's the next big piece. And that's after that, and then adding that to the editor where people can force people to only play with one tower and one skill, or no skills and no towers. So I definitely think you should be able to make a tower defense match 3 version where you only can use the gems, so that you have to match a certain number or a certain type and use your passives with the active skills to, because then you need a map. The map must have one playable tile connected to the road, but that's it. You can cover the rest of the map and then force them to use a certain tower that, I don't know, maybe it's a poison or whatever it is. The point is it's not going to do enough damage, and then they have to use skill matching or gem matching and their skill set. And maybe you only force them to have the no towers, and then they get to pick their own skills because you want them to figure it out, or not, or you're just like, hey, here are the skills you got, good luck, type thing. And so, but the point is that that's what I envision when playing this game. So like the story stuff, that's all for me. That's all my benefit. The level editor's done. Like you guys, 99% of you guys will just be playing with the level editor, and who cares if I ever finish the story? That's not what you're here about. Maybe box mode, but other than that, so that's where we are. I'm gonna go and fix that bug, and then keep doing the rest of it, and do a little more bug searching before I release it. I don't want that search should work. So I hate to leave it on a bug, but that's how you know the game is in development. Anyway, this is Steven signing off.